Loud Esmond here for Winners and Winers. It is the live betting in the break show where we try to get you healthy if you haven't done so well earlier today, or where we try to grow your bankroll in the late games and the Monday games and the other upcoming games for NFL football betting. And we'll be rolling in some other sports, maybe bring in some hockey, some playoff baseball as we go along here. Tom Macrina joins us. He is a fantastic handicapper with Winners and Winers, and Scott Keyport with Little Creek Casino and Sportsbook. He's the sportsbook manager there. Hey, sorry, no suit for me tonight, no tie. I'm, as you can tell, I'm on the road. I'm in a hotel in Oregon on my way to teach some law enforcement classes. So here I am, and I couldn't get my green screen to load. So sorry, everybody who's not getting the Winners and Winers background tonight. Interesting day in the NFL. I've got some notes on teams that we can just start fading every week because they completely suck. I can talk about how my day went in general in betting. And, of course, we'll be talking about the upcoming Sunday night football game and Monday night football game. And also I will mention the Thursday night football game, which kind of is a real unmentionable clunker of a game, Saints-Broncos, barf. Anyway, joining us, Tom Macrina. Tom, how does your day go?
Yeah, my day was all right. I won with the Buccaneers -3.5, and then I lost a heartbreaker with the Broncos-Chargers under.
Yeah, you and I both lost on that game. I'm 4-1 on the day in my premium picks. Bears money line -130 at Jaguars in London. Commanders Ravens over 51.5. I had that Buccaneers -3 earlier in the week against the Saints, and Lions -3 against the Cowboys. I think they're going to cover. It's 47-9. Just throwing it out there. I think I'm going to be okay in calling that game a little early. Scott, do you think I'm good on -3 with the Lions?
I think they'll get there.
You think? We have time. We have time still. It's 47-9 with a few minutes to go. So hopefully the Cowboys don't score.
That would be the most Dallas thing to do, right? All of a sudden start scoring a whole bunch of points right at the end. And look like they could have done something.
They're at the 5-yard line right now, but I don't think there's 8 minutes left. I don't think they're going to get there. So I feel fairly comfortable saying my day was 4-1. Scott, any interesting totals or things that a lot of people were on a line one way or another in this NFL Sunday at your book?
Well, I was just actually looking at our overall numbers. We have almost broken exactly even. So as much money has come in has come out. So we must have had, people kind of betting one side or the other. And yeah, nothing big popped out. What I saw, I was just for my own looking at the numbers again. Those couple of teams that covered the spread, the underdogs that covered, they also hit the under. So, and these teams that are the favorites that are covering are hitting the over. That's matching up really clearly today. It's the favorites and the overs and the underdogs and the under. But yeah, no, I think, we're sort of just having a calm day, not really one big swing one way or the other.
And of course, novice bettors don't actually understand how a sportsbook actually makes their money. A sportsbook's perfect day is 50% of the money is on this side and 50% of the money is on this side, because there's no way the sportsbook can lose, because it's taking the vig money, that 10 to 15% in the middle. So that's why the point spread moves, right? Because they're trying to balance the line.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, so, Tom, obviously this is, shows all about helping people make some money here. Bengals and the Giants tonight. What's your take?
Yeah, so the Bengals have been disappointing. They're off to a 1-4 start, but all 4 losses were by 1 score. They have a bad defense. Their offense is really good. Their defense is giving up 29 points per game, which is 31st in the NFL. This is kind of a must-win game for them. They are third in EPA per play. They have no rush defense. The defense is the worst unit on the field here. On the other side, we have the Giants. No Malik Neighbors, but that didn't really matter last week in a pretty dominant win against Seattle, and they were in Seattle. Their defense has been good, 20.8 points per game, which is good for 11th. Jones has looked good. He's looked confident. I think he should have success on the ground. So that's what I like, Giants and the over.
Okay, so I have a general rule that I don't like betting bad team against bad team games. And I don't consider the Bengals or the Giants to be a good or above average or great team. So I generally stay away from games like this. So I have no premium pick. I've got no dog in this fight. I lean the Giants for a few reasons. They're home. They're getting a field goal plus. The Bengals defense, as you said, is terrible. Danny Bagels, as I call him, is 12th in QBR. That's not bad. For a guy that is so maligned, he's not actually being that bad this season. He's not turning the ball over. The Giants are top 10 on defense in points allowed, and they put up 29 points last week against the Seattle defense that hadn't been so bad. Bengals are averaging 30 points per game. Now, I do think there's going to be a little bit of a psychological hangover for the Bengals with how crazy that game was against the Ravens last week. The fact that they put up so many points, had the game won, and then fumbled the ball and gave it back to the Ravens, who then eventually went down and scored. That's going to have a hangover effect, I think. So for all those reasons, if I was to have a play on this game, and I don't, because again, I'm not a bad team better, I would be leaning Giants in this one. All right, Scott, where's the public on this game in your book?
Everyone is on the Bengals. Point spread, money line, ticket count, handle. It's 80% on the Bengals. So, and on the over too. So yeah, we'll be rooting for the Giants on this. I do see, it looks like at one point DraftKings hit -4. So for them to kind of start sliding that number that way, I mean, that shows you that, yeah, everyone's taking the Bengals on this. I'm with Tom. You get a -4. That seems not. Which one do you trust the least or trust the most, right? But we'll be rooting for the Giants.
Okay, I think this is a classic public better is wrong situation, Tom. Don't you?
Yeah, I agree with that. I just don't think the Bengals are that good. And as their record states, 1-4, the Bengals are not that good.
Okay, and so when it comes to public bettors versus sharp bettors, public bettors, they often see brand names and assume things. The Bengals are good. The Giants are bad. And they're not looking at the actual numbers. The Bengals have a horrible weakness, which is their defense is terrible. So they can't hold leads. Right, Tom?
Correct. I actually have
so
some.
That's. Go ahead.
Yeah, I actually have a couple trends about the handle backing. So over the past 2 seasons, when more than 65% of the handle is on a particular side ATS, they're only 96 and 111. That's 46.4%. When the majority backs the road favorite, they're 80 and 105, which is also 43%. So trend-wise, that holds true as well.
Which is both of the situations that we have here tonight. The public is overwhelmingly on a road favorite. And the first part of that, again, was
that when 65% or more of the handle is on a particular side against the spread.
Right. A lot of sharp bettors will tell you, hey, if the whole public is on one side, you better take the other, because the books aren't wrong much, right, Scott?
We have a whole, and just again, like you're talking about, so people understand, we have a trading team that we work with. It's not just me sitting in the old days, there was two guys sitting in a Vegas sports book making the line for the entire country, honestly, right? It was the Westgate. It was these casinos. They were doing it and everyone was following their lines. But these days, all these sports book companies have trading rooms with hundreds of people analyzing the games and computer software. So yeah, they the lines, I still get stunned at how often we just nail things. And so if it looks too good to be true, you have to ask yourself, has that many people made that mistake? And right. Sometimes they do make the mistake, or sometimes they overestimate the public's appetite for a bet, I think, and put a number where they think it's going to go instead of where it should be. But yeah, if it looks just really, really good and everyone's telling you to do it, just make sure you feel really good about it. Don't just do it because.
All right, Tom, let's talk about the Monday night game. This is the Bills at the Jets. Of course, Aaron Rodgers owns the Jets now. He forced the coach out, and I don't believe for a second that he did not put the knife in the coach there, Robert Saleh. Aaron saying, "Oh, I'm stunned. I didn't see this coming. Nobody asked me." BS. The owner talked to Aaron Rodgers because Robert Saleh was going to fire Nathaniel Hackett, the offensive coordinator. The story I've heard, and I believe this more than I believe Aaron, is Saleh went to the owner and said, "I'm going to fire Nathaniel Hackett. It's in my contract that I get to hire and fire the assistant coaches, so I'm going to do this." The owner then ran to Aaron Rodgers and said, "Aaron, what do you think?" Aaron said, "Hell no." And so they fired Saleh before he could fire Hackett. That's the only thing that makes any sense. And now the funny thing is, Tom, Hackett's been demoted anyway and is no longer calling the plays. So the assistant coach, who is now the head coach, came in and said, "I'm not getting hung with this guy around my neck," and moved him. So I don't know what gets better with the Jets.
Well, we hope the offense does. I agree with you that Nathaniel Hackett was definitely the problem with the offense. So this should, if not make them better, make the offense play more inspired. So we'll see what happens there. We know this defense is good. They're number 2 in yards allowed.
The issue that I have, and normally I would be in this position, I'd be saying, okay, teams, when they fire an unpopular head coach, they usually get a bump for a couple of weeks. There's a little adrenaline rush there, right? Like you saw with the Raiders when they fired the horrible coach who had been fired at Denver, and Josh McDaniels, who is just a horrible human being. Apparently, the whole team couldn't stand him, and so they you have that, okay, we got rid of that guy effect, and they play better. However, in this case, Robert Saleh wasn't the problem. His side of the ball plays great. Robert Saleh was not unpopular with the players. Aaron Rodgers is unpopular with the other players now, and you get rid of Nathaniel Hackett as a play caller, but they're not changing the offense. They're not installing a triple wing option this week. I mean, that's not happening. You're not going to an RPO game. Aaron Rodgers has said he doesn't want a bunch of shifting and movement. So I don't see any changes with the offense necessarily. So I don't know. What does your numbers analysis tell you in this one, Tom?
I just feel like I think the Bills are overvalued here. I don't know. This is their 3rd consecutive road game. Allen hasn't looked good in their last 2 losses. Receivers are average at best. And the Bills on the other side have a lot of drama in the locker room too. They're kind of calling for Sean McDermott's head. So they have problems of their own. I think this defense is strong. I don't know if the offense can move the ball. I lean to the under, I guess.
So some numbers here. The Bills average 28.4 points per game on offense. The Jets 18. The Bills allow 21.2 points per game. The Jets 17. The numbers favor the Bills, but, then the question is, okay, the 3 road games in a row, but it's not like they have to go very far. They're in Buffalo and they're going to New York. It's a bus ride. I don't know. Again, I am not ready to make a call on this game. I will probably put up a premium pick over at Winners and Winers on the Loud Esmond premium picks page tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. I got to think about this one some more. Scott, where are the folks on Monday night's game, or do you have that much already in?
Well, we had $2 beer specials on Friday and Saturday night this weekend, and I think I'm going to have to call my marketing director to get $2 beer specials for Monday night because nobody cares about this game. There's just no money on it right now. They're just okay. I mean, maybe they're building up their bankrolls from this afternoon, and they're going to come hit me with all the money in just a couple of minutes. Big. But I think we need $2 beers to make this game palatable.
Okay, so a game that's going to be even worse. Thursday night football. This is the first real clunker of the year. Amazon, I'm sure, is not happy. Denver Broncos at New Orleans Saints. Yuck. Tom, is there anything that can save that game from just being a horrible exhibition?
Probably not. It looks like this game is around a pick 'em, and it's going to be interesting to see where this number moves. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, this is a bad Thursday night game.
Boy.
Neither team did anything this week.
So I have a list of teams that you can now start consistently betting against. Mm-hmm. The Jaguars are terrible. That was just absolutely confirmed today. Losing 35-16 to the Bears and not covering in their home away from home London. The Saints, my goodness, 51-27, and 14 of those points were from a punt return touchdown, and the other was a defensive touchdown, a scoop and score of 60-something yards. So they really scored 13 points today. Spencer Rattler is terrible. He threw a bunch of interceptions. He's bad. Without Derek Carr, without their starting offensive line, without Taysom Hill, that team is doomed. The Titans lose as a favorite, don't cover, losing to the Colts 20-17. They suck. The Browns, who are going to be remembered for making the worst NFL trade ever, maybe the worst sports trade in history, lost again to an Eagles team that doesn't look very good, 20-16. And the Raiders got absolutely run by the Steelers. And by the way, if you saw any of that game, it was 90% Steelers fans in Vegas. And it's something I predicted would happen to the Raiders, which is they would have no home field advantage because the hotels and the casinos and the sports books buy up all the tickets and then use them to lure people out of town who are fans of that team to come stay the weekend at their hotel. Here's a ticket package, go to the game. And who wouldn't want to be in Vegas instead of Pittsburgh? All right, Tom, any final thoughts to leave us with here tonight on Betting in the Break?
Yeah, we're good. I guess just check me out over at Winners and Winers. I went 5-0 in college football yesterday, 32-18 year to date. As I said, my winners, I have play up for tonight. I have about 3 plays tomorrow. That's about it.
All right, Scott, Little Creek Casino and Sportsbook. Anything final to leave us with?
I just saw on Thursday night it's Flyers versus the Kraken, so I might have to put a beer on the line with Tom on that night. See, we'll find something to watch. It might not be the football game though.
Yeah, it may not. Yeah. And by the way, we need to start talking some hockey on the show soon. Programming note, next Saturday night, this show is not going to be hosted by me. It's going to be hosted by Sniper West, bringing in Scott from Little Creek and a couple of other guests. Tom, hit Sniper West up if you want to join on Saturday night. This is Betting in the Break. We are live getting you ready for the night games on college football Saturdays, 4:15 Pacific, 7:15 Eastern. And on Sundays, again, 4:15 Pacific, 7:15 Eastern, getting you ready for the late NFL and NFL action coming up later in the week. I am Loud Esmond with Winners and Winers. Thanks for being here, everybody.